Monday, June 25, was proclaimed a National Day of Mourning as a memorial to Guyanese fishermen who lost their lives in a deadly pirate attack off the coast of Suriname between April 27, 2018 and May 3, 2018.
Roundabouts. Approaching a roundabout. When you approach a roundabout, you must use your indicator if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn at the roundabout. You must give other road users sufficient notice of your intent to turn. Entering a roundabout. When entering a roundabout, you must slow or stop to give way to any vehicle already in the roundabout. You must also continue to use your indicators if you intend to turn left or right or make a U-turn. Turning left. When turning left, you must indicate left on approach and be travelling in the left-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Stay in the left lane and exit in the left lane. Turning right. When turning right, you must indicate right on approach and be travelling in the right-hand lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Making a U-turn. When using a roundabout to make a U-turn, you must approach in the right lane and signal right. Changing lanes in a roundabout. Drivers may change lanes in a roundabout if they wish. The usual road rules for changing lanes apply. You must use your indicator and give way to any vehicle in the lane you are entering. Going straight ahead. You don't need to signal when approaching the roundabout if you are going straight ahead. You may approach the roundabout from either the left or right lane unless there are road markings with other instructions. Exiting a roundabout. As when you exit a road, you must signal left when leaving a roundabout, if it is practical to do so, and you should stop indicating as soon as you have exited the roundabout. However, when you are travelling straight ahead on a small single-lane roundabout, it may be impractical to indicate when exiting.
In keeping with Article 99(1) of the Constitution of Guyana, the announcement called on all authorities, boards, commissions, corporations, public agencies, ministries and citizens to fly the national flag of Guyana at half-staff. This demonstrated solidarity with the families of those killed and paid respect to the memory of the victims. While this recent incident may be the worst ever suffered by Guyanese, piracy has been conducted ever since mankind took the seas. Modern-day piracy has its roots in the pirates who reigned in the Caribbean Sea since the 16th century. Many of them arrived in the area after the War of the Spanish Succession. Blackbeard, a feared character with wild black hair and a ragged beard, conducted a reign of terror across the Caribbean and the Atlantic Ocean around the mid-1700s. He is believed to have learned his robbery techniques while serving on a British privateer, armed ships hired by the government of the day, where he was allowed to keep whatever spoils of war he managed to gather. Modern pirates are well armed and well organized. Many, particularly Somali gangs, use larger motherships to reach deeper ocean waters before attacking ships with smaller boats and boarding them using grappling hooks and ladders. More than 10 vessels and 250 crew are thought to be currently in the hands of pirates, who are waiting for ransom to be paid by the ship's owners. More than 10 vessels and 250 crew are thought to be currently in the hands of pirates, who are waiting for ransom to be paid by the ship's owners. In Guyana, reported piracy attacks have declined over the years. Minister of State Joseph Harmon.
In fact, in 2011, there were 10 reports of piracy. In 2012, there were 22. In 2013, 3. 2014, 8. 2015, 4. In 2016, there was 1. 2017, 9. And for 2018, up to this incident, there was none. This basically was not something that occurred by magic, but it was the result of a consistent approach which the government took to dealing with these matters that when they occur, these piracy matters.
The declaration of the National Day of Mourning by President David Granger is in keeping with a promise he made when he first addressed the matter on May 3. His Excellency offered his view on the sidelines of the CFATF training for judges and prosecutors at the Guyana Marriott Hotel in Georgetown on June 25 of this year.
We are deeply grieved by the tragedy. Clearly, some Guyanese have been victims, and we are in touch with the Surinamese government and also the Surinamese police authorities. Our police in the B Division, which is the East Berbice Quarantine Division, are in touch with their families, and we plan to observe, formal mourning. It's a great massacre, a great tragedy.
During the incident, 5 boats with 25 crew members were attacked. 9 persons survived the brutal ordeal. 4 bodies were recovered, whilst 12 remain missing and are feared dead. The boats and crew attacked on April 27 were the Romana, captained by Dionarine Goberdan, called Patar 47, is believed to have been the first boat attacked sometime around 1830 hours. Goberdan, a father of 17 children, said he drifted for 22 hours some 8 miles away from shore, barely keeping afloat until he reached land and notified the police. The bodies of 2 of his crew members were washed ashore and positively identified as those of Tilak North Mohabir, called Kaiman, and Mahesh Sarju, called Vishal. Bharat Herilal, called Cool Record, and another identified only as Palam, are missing. The missing Romana is believed to have been taken away or sunk by pirates. The Joshua, owned by Rosie Jones, was found submerged in water sunk by the pirates after they launched their attack. The captain, Akibai, was the lone survivor and has since gone into hiding, fearing for his life. His crew members were Lalta Prasad, called Sunil, and Padak, 43, and a father of 4 who had migrated to Suriname over 18 years ago. The others on board were Spanish Man, Bandara, and Mukesh. The name of the 3rd boat is unknown at this time, but had on board Ramesh Sanchara, called Ravo, Ramnarayan Singh, Luknarayan Prasad, called Klein, Rajendra Bisesar, and the captain, Dharmendra Prasad, who was also one of the survivors. The last boat, believed to be attacked sometime after 1 hour on May 5, Saturday morning, was the Shifani, owned by Hemlal Ramsaran. Danish Prasad, called Vicky, of Sheet Anchor East Kanji, and a father of 2, was the captain. His crew members were Ralph Anthony Couchman, called Burnham, Glenroy Jones, called Alkaline, and Joshua, 20, Gaukaran Outar, called Gavin, and Long Hair, 33, whose body was found washed up at the 63 beach, and survivor Sherwin Lovell. President Granger noted that the government, through a series of collaborations with the Surinamese authorities, significantly reduced piracy attacks in Guyanese waters.
We have been very successful over the last 3 years in curbing piracy. So this has come as a great setback, and we extend sympathy to the families of the bereaved, but right now we don't have all information. We are in touch with the Surinamese government, and we'll be making a public statement hopefully by tomorrow when the Minister of State gives his press briefing.
Meanwhile, Minister of Public Security Kemraj Ramjatan explained that a high-level visit to the neighboring country yielded vital information.
The very first morning of our arrival, I met with about 25 members of the relatives of the victims. We then had a meeting on the Monday morning with Minister of Police and Justice, Minister of Defense, Minister of Agriculture, the police commissioner, and the chief detective, who was the person in charge of the investigations. And from that meeting, we got a more or less inside scoop as to what it is and how far it is that the investigations had gone.
There was reciprocal visit by Surinamese investigators. This yielded a promise of assistance to local sleuths as the 2 jurisdictions grappled with the heinous High Seas massacre.
Recently, a team of Surinamese top detectives working on the fisherman's case, that incident of murder on the high seas, indicated that they are going to help us in relation to getting more evidence and so on, because we had asked them for more evidence in relation to people who we suspect here in Guyana. Just before coming here, I think an envelope from the Commissioner of Police to do what is called a request for mutual assistance for the witnesses to come over to Guyana. and to be cross-examined by our CID department. That request came in that envelope. I saw it come in, it was on my desk, but I had to rush here. I'm going to make that request of the Surinamese authorities. They have sent me all that they have done so far on a daily basis that has gone to the extent of, you know, minutiae in their investigations. Some things were not there, of course, but we need some more information before we can fully complete whatever investigation we want, because those witnesses are over there. If not, I can work out our senior officers going over there to interview those witnesses that they have, including the accused and those who are on remand, because we need to do that ourselves. So it is a very close working relationship. It has been so for some time. And with the new minister, Mr. Gitru, we have very regular communication. And that was that one that I will sign on to him, because he's the central authority. I am the central authority in Guyana. I will make the request of him, and I'm certain, because he has indicated as much. Let's just go through the paperwork, and we will get there.
The alleged mastermind of the massacre is Suriname's Nakul Manohar, called Fire, age 39, of Lot 1, number 43, Village Quarantine, who was initially charged on May 30 with murder. Manohar appeared at the Springlands Magistrates Court before Magistrate Rabindranath Singh to answer to charges of piracy on the high seas, for which he was previously remanded. However, he was instead slapped with a murder charge. The charge stated that between April 26 and May 3rd, while in Guyana's territorial waters, he murdered Tilak North Mahabir, called Cayman. He was further remanded to prison until June 13. On June 13, Prem North Prasad, also known as Sinbad, who is said to be the pirates' leader, was jointly charged with the murder of 2 fishermen. Prasad, 43, was jointly charged with Nakul Manohar at the Springlands Magistrates Court with the murders of Tilak North Mahabir, also known as Kai or Cayman, and Mahesh Sarju. The charge read that the 2 men between April 27 and May 3 murdered Mahabir and Sarju during the course of a robbery in quarantine waters. Another accused, Alexander Denhart, called Shameface, of number 79 Village Quarantine, Berbice, appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Sherdel Isaacs Marcus in early June and was not required to plead to the indictable charge. On Sunday, June 24, the victims' families and relatives gathered to say farewell with solemn Hindu rites for the dead. They reflected on the lives of their loved ones and how they have been affected.
Well, that is a good thing that he's done, you know. And maybe if he could do it like every year or so, would be a possible, because that is something, since I'm 24 years old and I never noticed anything like that.
Sanchara's wife, Kewalpati Mangru, tearfully recalled her husband, a fisherman for more than 30 years.
He liked the fishing work. And me and he will live a Suriname, and he just work, and he doesn't do nothing, and so he doesn't mind me, and me just mind my grandson. Me got 3 children. My grandchildren.
The wife of Danish Prasad, Kavita Ibrahim, and Nandrani Sukra, mother of 19-year-old Ralph Couchman, spoke of the challenges they now face following the attack.
Right now, me got my 2 children, them are paying rent. Me need nobody to assist me. Nobody me get to assist me. If me not pay me rent, me gonna get put out. If people go put me on the road with my children, we part, me gonna go. Me not got a family set, they gonna go and help me or assist me with my children. Right now, my neighbors them assist me.
I stressed out a lot. Many days I don't sleep, many nights, many days I in the hammock sit down crying without eating nothing. And I eat little food, so it lasts me till the next day. You get no appetite or nothing. It stressed me out big time. And the last I saw my son was on the 10th of January when he left Guyana to go Suriname and never ever see back after today.
On Monday, June 25th, a moment of silence was observed in the National Assembly, solidarity for the victims of the deadly piracy attacks. The names of those murdered and the 16 missing and feared dead were stated for the record. The government, through aerial monitoring along with the Coast Guard and the Guyana Defence Force, are maintaining a constant presence to discourage the scourge of piracy from Guyana's waters. You have been watching InfoHub Extended. Do join us again.